Hey guys, so popping on real quick. This is going to be a super short video training, but I want to answer a popular question, right? What do I say to someone who inquires about my service and says, I love you. I would love to work with you, but your price is too high. Is there any way you could bring it down? Or I may have to go with someone else because your price is too high and it's more than what I wanted to spend. Here's what I think. I think that there are two things. I can answer the question directly, and then I can give you the better answer. All right. So the direct answer is if you choose to go the route of discounting, right, of bringing the price down, if that's your desire and that's what you want to do, you have to remove something, right? You shouldn't be doing the same amount of work for less just because, right? Now, you want to be careful what you remove, because saying like, oh, instead of having me and two assistants, you're going to get me and one assistant, all that really is going to do is make your life harder as the planner. You guys are just going to be doing more, right? Because you're short staffed. So you want to be careful of what you do, but and explain what it means to remove a few hours or whatever the case is of what you're going to do to bring the price down. So that's one thing. But I do think the better answer is at a certain point, as you're elevating, you have to do what you can to increase demand for what you're doing. That way you're not desperate to book every lead that comes your way, right? Like the people, when you go to a Lexus dealership, they're not desperate to book everybody who walks in. Because they are a premium car. And especially if you walk into a Bentley dealership or a Rolls-Royce dealership, they're not desperate to book everybody. As a matter of fact, they're going to be telling you like, hey, we only have two more white ones available. We only produce but so many cars in a year, and they're high in demand, and so we have two white ones left. We have one here and we have one that's 200 miles away. So if you'd like to move forward, I would love to take your deposit. Like they'll tell you the demand is high for what we're doing, and the demand is higher than what we can produce, right? So if you get to the point where you're getting lots of leads in a month or in a year, then somebody telling you, hey, sorry, your price is too high. Yeah, you want to empathize with them. You want to be kind. You don't want to be a jerk, right? And say, oh, well, sorry. You don't want to be mean, but you also are not desperate to make them a client, so you're willing to let them go knowing someone else will come along. I've dealt with that in the past. We had a client who came our way, and she was interviewing with one of our lead planners, and in the end she was just like, man, I just can't make the budget work. And fast forward about a year later, we actually were speaking on a panel together, and she recognized me and was like, oh, I've met you before. I think I had my initial call with you before I met with the lead planner. And I was like, oh yeah. She's like, man, that was an amazing experience. I rave about you guys to everybody. You guys were great. I just couldn't afford it. Right. And she just accepted the fact that she couldn't afford it. We didn't reduce our price. And she still continues to rave about us to other people. She even posted on Instagram about like after we spoke and saying, oh my gosh, it was so great running into her. For budget reasons, we didn't go with her, but she's amazing. She was phenomenal, gracious, all of that, right? Contrast that with another time that I did reduce my price to get a client who and everything. And not only did I reduce my price, I had so many calls. There were so many back and forth emails with this client before they even signed. And that continued through the entire process of planning the event. And they were honestly kind of a stressful client. They wanted a discount from every vendor. Everything was, they always wanted the $200 thing and wanted to pay $150 for it or whatever the case is. So it was a stressful process. And not only that, but I got at least, that I can remember right now, at least 3 leads for the same dates who had bigger budgets, who were at really cool venues. And at a couple points, I actually considered actually firing this client to just go after some of these other people, right? And that's what happens when you have, I really learned that lesson the hard way, that there is no reason to chase after people who just who just feel like they just deserve a discount for you just for some reason, right? Because that energy could be used to promote your business and increase demand for what you're doing and attract other people who will pay it, right? And it may not be for the same date, like what happened with me. You might say, hey, I want to do 2 weddings a month. And then you get the 2 weddings a month, right? Just maybe on 2 different weekends, but you get the 2 weddings a month, you hit your goals without having to compromise yourself, right? Our goal, the thing about it is that at a certain point in my business, I realized that I was working too hard to help people pay me less money, right? Like back when I was doing floral design and wedding planning, there were some clients that we would just go back and forth, and they would always be like, oh, well, how can we reduce it by this much? And then again, how do we reduce it? And then going back and forth multiple times, how do I reduce it? And at a certain point, I was like, I'm putting in so many hours to try to win a contract with someone who's who's trying to pay me less. Like I'm putting in extra effort to get them to pay me less. And I finally said, no, this is my minimum. I'm unable to, reduce it more. And if you walk, that's fine, but I don't want to hustle for you to pay me less and take a weekend, So for in this point, it's like, stop hustling to help people pay you less. Instead, invest in yourself and learn how to get clients, at a premium rate, learn how to attract the right clients and to really increase the demand for what you're doing. So in the cases when someone comes your way and can't afford it, you graciously let them go and you wait for the people who can. All right. That's what premium brands do. This is what premium businesses do. And that's my desire for you. This is our methodology and it's what we teach. This is why we talk a lot about increasing the demand for your service, really marketing. And when I say marketing, I'm not just saying posting 3 times a day, but I'm talking about measurable differences where you can measure, man, I'm getting lots of leads. One of our clients, and she attended Planners Who Profit Live last year, she let us know recently, she's like, I'm getting 10 to 12 leads a week. Now that's a lot. That's a lot. Even if you get 10 to 12 leads a month, right? 10 to 12 leads a month is 120 or to 150 leads in a year. There's no way you can do 150 events in a year, right? So the demand is way higher for what you can even service. And in that case, you know what that means? You just wait for the right ones. You just let the 20% or however much percent, even 20% is high, but let's say 15% of those clients, 10 to 15% of those clients who pay your rate, paid on time and move quickly, those become your clients. And then that's how you have a profitable business, right? So I just wanted to answer this question really quick for you guys. I wanted to remind you guys, you definitely want to be in the building at Planners Who Profit Live. Like we are going to be going in deep. Like this very short video clip I'm sure has already like changed the way you think about things. Imagine what it's like to be in the room with planners who are on a mission, who are doing amazing things for 2.5 days. You can go to Instagram, Planners Who Profit, see the people who've already registered. Like this is a room of above average planners. This is the room you want to be in, because we are going to the next level in this room, right? This is not beginner content. Everything is curated for experienced planners. And if you are a beginner planner and you're like 100% dedicated to getting on the fast track, then you definitely want to also join us, and we'll help you out to catch up to the content of what we're going to be teaching at this event. All right. So if you have any questions, leave us an email, reply to the email that you got leading to this. We'll answer any of your questions, but I really want to see you in the room. All right. Like this is going to be a phenomenal experience, and you can't afford to wait another year to get started on building a profitable business, right? You want to do it now. Like your wedding season, your fall and 2024 wedding season is going to look like the decision you make today. So I want you to join us in the room. Let's get to work, okay, on increasing the demand for your business so you don't feel under pressure to discount for everyone who comes around. And I'm really excited to work with you, all right? Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.